John Lusk here of Lusk Archery Adventures. Series testing, successful hunting. Today I've got another cool broadhead to test for you, and it's another budget broadhead. Okay, you've seen some of the tests I've done that have been budget broadheads over the years. I've been especially impressed with some of the heads by DEEPOWER that are sold on Amazon. I stumbled upon them a couple of years ago. I wondered, like, okay, are these just junk or are they a really good value? And some of them that I've tested have been really incredible value, really good broadheads. So if you're interested in those, just type into the search bar there on YouTube, Lusk DEEPOWER, and then you'll see all the different tests that come up. But today I'm going to be testing a brand new one that's just hitting the market now, like April 2022, and it's their 1.5 inch 3-blade. They had an older model 1.5 inch 3-blade, but this one's different. This has a chisel tip, a lot higher specifications. Okay, it's supposedly going to do a lot better, but we'll have to see. And so to test it, I'm going to be using my protocol for 2022, and for a detailed description about each of the tests that I do and how this head fared in each of those tests, you can read about it in the description right below this video. And for these tests, I'm using my Bowtech SR6 set at 65 pounds for the cardboard layers. I've always adjusted that to 65 pounds. But then I'm using my Bowtech brand new CP28 set at 72 pounds for all the other tests. And it actually has the exact same speed as my SR6. So I'm going to use the two interchangeably. I keep one of them at 65 pounds for the cardboard layers, so I don't blow through it into my wall. I've always kept it at 65 pounds for that. But now I have two bows, so I can just keep one there and then keep the other one at my full hunting weight of 72 pounds. Anyway, okay, and I'm using the Bishop FOC King arrows for most of the shots, but the really hard impact ones, I'm using these Bishop Fad Eliminators. And I've been messing around with these Zinger vanes as well. They're really easy for a lot of these tests because sometimes in that hard impact in concrete, I can lose vanes, okay, like in the glue-on kind, but these are just really easy to slide over. Sometimes like through the steel plate, it's hard to pull out the broadhead a certain way, so I can just pull these off and pull it through the other way. Okay, I've done fobs with that as well, but I've just been messing around with these Zingers. So anyway, let's zoom on in here, check out this new DEEPOWER 1.5 inch broadhead, go through some of the design features and specifications, and then put it to the test. Here's a good look at the broadhead, and this is a really cool looking broadhead. It's their 1.5 inch 3-blade model, okay? Now, I will note that they have another 1.5 inch broadhead on the market that looks really similar, but the tip is different. This has a chisel tip rather than just kind of a rounded, like field point looking tip. That's the difference in this brand new model, new as of late April 2022. So 1.5 inch cutting diameter, 3 blades, gives you a total cut of 2.25 inches, which is a lot for a fixed blade and a lot for a 3-blade head like this, especially at 100 grains. The blades are stainless steel, and they're 0.039 inches thick. And you'll notice that they're swept a little bit, like they angle back away from the arrow shaft. That keeps them from being considered barbed. As long as they're 90 degrees or less like that, then they're not considered barbed. If they curved back this way, then they would be considered barbed. But these are not barbed, therefore they should be legal in each of the 50 states here in the United States. The ferrule is made out of a 6061 aluminum, which that's what they have to do in order to keep the weight at 100 grains. But it is pretty thick, and it is pretty short, so it still should have some decent strength to it. This chisel tip that I referenced earlier is made out of a carbon steel, and it's really sharp. It's a big, stout-looking tip. So really eager to put this head to the test and see how it performs. $150. It penetrated 6 3/4 inches. $200. It penetrated through 61 layers, which was really surprising given that big of a tip and that wide of a cut. It's in pristine condition after 3 shots through the MDF. And it held together really well through the 2 shots of the steel plate. The tip got a little bit blunted there, as you can see, and the blades got a little bit nicked up on the edges, but otherwise it did very well. And here's the holes that it made in the steel plate. And man, they're really nice holes with that 1.5 inch cut. And you can see the center is like that round center, but it's extra big because the chisel tip is really wide. So really impressive holes. So here's the head after going through the MDF 3 times and the steel plate twice, and then into the concrete. And as you can see, it held together really well. Now you'll see that there is a wobble to it, and that partly is because the tip got blunted, mainly from the steel plate. It doesn't look like it got any more blunted from the concrete, which was impressive. But that aluminum ferrule, the 6061 ferrule, even though it's short and it's really thick, it did get a bit bent there. And so that's where that wobble comes from. But man, the blades held up really well through the steel plate. Of course, they didn't impact the concrete. And just the overall structural integrity of the head for a budget broadhead like this with this big of a cut was really impressive. So what did you think of this broadhead? Hey, I tell you, it was impressive. It would be impressive at pretty much any price, but it's especially impressive at the price that they're selling it for. Big cut, great flight, durability, penetration, sharp blades. I mean, what's not to love about this? And again, especially for the price, wow, it really is a winner. Now, I will say, when you go with an off-brand, there's not always the quality control that you might come to expect from some more popular brands. But I can say all 6 of the heads that I got in this package were all really tight specifications, and they all spun true and they all performed really well. So check out the score sheet and see how it performed in the areas that matter to you the most, and stay tuned for the overall Lust grade. But I say, especially for the price, but even if price wasn't an issue, man, if you're looking for a big cut and a really good fixed blade broadhead, man, this is worth checking out. Great job, DEEPOWER.